I just want people to know what one imperfect person can do if they just apply themselves, man, and go after it and just get after it as often as they possibly can, and really see what's possible, man, by the grace of God. So that's what I'm all about. So it's when anytime someone's like, yo, I want to interview you or catch up with you, I'm like, man, it's such an honor, So heck yeah.
So there's so many connections there. I mean, we're involved in two different business models, but at the same time, we're coming at it from the same perspective, and that is uh, always working to just be better on a daily basis, and with clients and ourselves and our teams and the people that are around us. And I just a quick kind of bio on Byron here. I mean, first off, this might feel a little bit different for some of the people who listened to this podcast before, but essentially, you're a subject matter expert in the world of personal protection or executive protection, or some people might refer to it as close protection. Um, and I'm sure you hear all kinds of things out there, or people kind of misconstrue, or there's a misunderstanding of what you do as a professional. But maybe you can walk us through what it is that you do, man.
Yeah, brother. So what I do is essentially I'm a civilian that protects civilians. We protect the 1%, usually 1% of the 1%. My company, Bravo Research Group, we put teams and strategies around high net worth individuals and their families, which, I mean, that's just where it starts. But that's like my daily grind in terms of my what I really, have the only job I've ever had in my life, which is the Marine Corps, and then professional protection. And then now, obviously, training other protectors, no matter what their walk of life is, to understand how to leverage the principles of, how a civilian protects civilians, or whatever their background is, how we can focus on protection better, you know.
Yeah, so it might be sort of an obscure place for people to try to jump into this conversation, but I imagine a lot of people are they're trying to imagine what the day-to-day grind looks like for you. Let's say you're with a client, and and they might relate it to something they've seen in a movie, like a Jason Statham, a John Wick, Keanu Reeves kind of thing. And it's all show, it's all go all the time. It's dark glasses and high speed gear. But I know, because I do train and work with other guys in the field, other individuals in the field. They come from all varying backgrounds. They didn't just show up here, and what I just described, what the movies show, couldn't be any more from really kind of the truth of what the day-to-day looks like. Maybe maybe you could walk us through we'll back it up, we'll walk it back a little bit. Maybe you could kind of walk us through what the reality of a day looks like for somebody in your line of work.
What I love about it is, like, coming from the Marine Corps and coming from combat, I kind of had to find a way to serve the world that would not kill me. It's already coming from such an intense reality. It's like, all right, is this just going to be cartoons for the rest of my life? Is nothing ever going to be serious again? Or am I never going to get to really stretch my legs out and get after it? You feel like a Lamborghini being forced to drive in a school zone forever. The quality of problems you deal with on a daily basis are nominal, so, and then eventually that gets to you too. I think that executive protection, or private security, is a great industry for vets to get into. I always try to hire vets, encourage vets, and also train vets on how to get into this industry for those reasons. But one of the things vets deal with in that transition is the reality of the cognitive dissonance that comes from being I'm a warlord going into being a guardian, so you realize really quickly it's a service related industry. It's all about the service that you're able to render,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes that means you might be the coffee getter, man. Sometimes you might be the put the car seat in the car guy, so one day you could be going to Whole Foods shadowing your principal, or ghosting your principal, we call it, where you're watching but you're not necessarily with them, or you might be right next to them walking through the checkout aisle, just trying to stay low profile, and navigate your basic civilian reality with this person who you have to protect. But it totally still hits the spot if you're organically a protector. But then another day you might be at I've worked at presidential inaugurations, I've been in palaces, I've been in castles and in corporate environments at the highest level. I've spent weeks on private jets and in the top hotels in the world, backstage at all kinds of concerts and stuff. So you get tremendous access to all these things you really always like, all these people, places, and things that you could only dream of. Where you look over at your buddy and you're like, dude, no one's going to believe us. Like,
Right.
no one's going to believe us if we tell them that we're doing this right now.
Right.
But then you also have these a lot of time where, I've spent countless holidays sitting inside a Chase vehicle parked outside of a client's house with a buddy, getting brought leftovers if they think about us.
While they're having their holiday, right? You're out there, you're protecting.
They're unwrapping presents and we're just sitting out there in the car like, all right, well, I got some good audiobooks, dude. You want to,
right. Dig in.
Keeping an eye on things, so a lot of the times it's a lot of time waiting and serving, but then a lot of times, you're flown into countries, before your principals and clients. You get to build out a whole protection package and kind of get some licks in on your own time too, and live an awesome life. I've seen over 60 different countries doing this work. It's the only job I've had since I was 21 after the Marine Corps. So it's been a tremendous blessing and a way for me to stay sharp.